When you've been in a long-term relationship for a while, you're going to realize that you have to grieve parts of your relationship in order for you to move forward. Welcome back to the Thriving in Love podcast, the podcast that challenges the status quo so couples can thrive as their most authentic selves. I'm your host, Sana Akhand, and I am an embodiment mentor. I am the co-founder of Growth Club, which is a membership community for conscious leaders to connect, heal, grow together. If you're curious about it, check out all the links below. Today, I really want to go into something that has been really sacred for me, my personal growth, my spirituality, and also my one-on-one containers. My clients have also been going through this, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people have, because if you look at the astrology, both Mercury and Venus were in retrograde during eclipse season, and we're coming out of it on the other side. I know a lot of people that have ended relationships, and I also know people who are rewriting and rewiring their relationship dynamics. Why is this coming up now? It's because we are entering into this new world where love is going to be something that needs to be clean, needs to be seen through clear eyes, not through the illusions of old patriarchal programming. Also, if you're in long-term relationships, you probably heard the saying that you have to attend 1,000 funerals of the person that you married throughout the course of your marriage. I am coming on to 10 years of marriage now with my incredible husband. It's true. Like, we have gone through so many iterations of who we are, new iterations of what our marriage is and how love wants to flow through us. As we continue to grow and evolve, it creates more space for love to ebb and flow through our vessels. On this podcast, I've talked many times about these 5 stages of relationships, and unfortunately it's not a linear path to them, but it does help having those 5 stages of a relationship to have a framework around, okay, where am I and where's my relationship and where is it heading towards, so that when you guys get into inevitable dips and valleys and stumble upon years of resentment and bitterness, you're going to have the tools in your back pocket to know, okay, this is normal. No need to rush to divorce or think that this entire relationship is doomed for failure. Because marriage is evolving from a contract that, merges families and possessions into a soul contract where your souls choose each other because you have the medicine the other person needs in order to grow and evolve on a deeper level. It is required to go through a phase of what I like to call the death and rebirth of your relationship, which my husband and I have hit now a couple times, and my clients are hitting it right now. That's why I want to talk about it on this podcast today. As a society, we have truly idolized love as this thing on the pedestal that is, once I get married, life is going to be perfect. And unfortunately, reality hits and you see that even though you love each other, sometimes there are things that you have to do or talk about or go through in order to grow deeper into love, connect on a deeper level. So many people are stuck in surface level relationships because they think that that's all there is available. But when you're willing to go deeper into your own inner work, you actually unlock deeper layers of love available in your marriage, in your one-on-one relationships, in your friendships, in your work, in your purpose. It ripples into all areas of life. And that's why this inner work is so incredibly important. So today I want to also talk about, a lot of people hit a roadblock in their relationship and they start to panic. And the first thing that we do, especially as hyper independent women, is think about all the ways that we have to fix everything around us and everyone around us. Like, oh, if my husband just went to therapy and worked on this issue with his mom or his dad, then we wouldn't have these issues. When in reality, if your husband has some work to do on his core wounds, that means you also have work to do on your core wounds. So instead of trying to tell your husband what he needs to do, work on those core wounds within your own self. And I promise you, the more you do your own inner work, it is energetically going to be reflected back to you in your marriage and in your external reality. So for me, instead of trying to get my husband to go to therapy for so long, I was in that phase of like, oh, I'm doing all this inner work and he's not. I just pulled my energy back, poured it fully into myself, whether I needed to do deeper inner work or just give myself more love and compassion and just spend time with myself. I swear to God, it completely transformed my marriage and my relationship automatically, magically, in divine timing, like truly. And then I also had to come face to face with the fairy tale being not what I thought it was going to be, and then making peace with that. A lot of us go into marriage with this idolized version of what kind of wife or husband we want. We think we choose somebody who reflects that, and then their shadow side comes out and we're like, wait a minute, that's not what I signed up for. Wait a minute, that's not the kind of husband or wife I want. Instead of saying, you're not fitting the bill, I want a divorce, I'm gonna go find somebody who does fit the bill, it's an invitation for you to question what is the illusion and what is reality. And that's when the grieving process is incredibly heart-opening. It literally shatters you open to so much more truth, to so much more clean love, and to so much more abundance in terms of this new world that we are co-creating together and with Source and with Mother Nature. So when we release the illusion, so for example, I thought I wanted a husband who pays for everything and my money is my money and his money is our money and we travel the world and we do all the things and I just get to create and do things on my own terms. I had that for a while. And my husband was incredible at supporting me financially and me taking my time to birth the projects that I have now birthed, which is the podcast, my membership community, and my one-on-one mentorship work. I have built my foundation now, and now I've noticed that once I've built that inner safety and security within me, he is now pulling back his resources because he has energetically felt that I no longer need them. And it was so uncomfortable because I got so comfortable with that safety and security being external that I didn't even realize that because of his safety and security, I was able to build safety and security within my own self. And then I got myself to a place of a foundation where the universe is like, hey girl, congratulations, like you did it and now you don't need this anymore. It's still there if you do need it, so have that sense of safety within you. However, the rug needs to get pulled out from underneath me, because the whole point of this spiritual path is to become self-actualized and to become sovereign beings who don't need anyone or anything outside of us to give us things that we're supposed to cultivate within our own selves, especially things like safety, security, stability, and financial abundance. Like, these are things that every single human should have and cultivate within their own selves, especially if you're on this journey of growth, ascension, actualization, expansion, evolution. That's why one of the biggest things that happen on this journey are, instead of waiting for somebody to choose you, you have to choose yourself. Instead of waiting for somebody to save you, you have to save yourself. Like, religion teaches us that God is going to save us, Jesus is going to save us, repent for your sins, etc., etc. However, that's not the true path to heaven on earth, because what heaven on earth requires, first and foremost, is radical accountability for the ways that we are operating based on old patriarchal programming. And the fairy tale that we have inherited through patriarchal programming, through movies, through culture, through our books that we read, all these romance novels, like all the love that we see in media and in our society, it's not real love. It's not clean, healthy love. It's the whole old paradigm love where it's like, oh, I'm lost without you. I'm empty without you. You complete me. You are my other half. All of these things that have been deeply, deeply ingrained and conditioned within us is now coming up to the surface to be completely radicalized and released, so that each and every single human can be a whole human, integrated between your own soul and your own vessel in harmony. That's what inner union is. And then you have these soul contracts with other people called soul mates. And it's not because that person heals you or fulfills you or saves you. A soul mate is simply somebody you have a soul contract with to grow together through the act of triggering each other, activating each other, and loving each other imperfectly. And that's the whole purpose of relationships in this new paradigm. And when I first got married, I thought that my husband was going to save me from my toxic family dynamics or my life that I have just been like struggling to create in survival mode, and he was going to come and save me. And technically he did, until he didn't, because we're always growing and evolving together and individually. So I was evolving beyond the old programming within my own self of, okay, how do I become this sovereign human being who doesn't conform to the status quo and instead forges my own path, which is why I chose to quit my job, travel the world, live in my own apartment while being happily married, starting a social club during a pandemic. And a lot of the work that I have done so far up until this moment, I'm 35 now, you know, even including choosing to be consciously child-free, a lot of those things are me just like questioning things about our current society and then going within and asking myself, does this align with my authentic self or not? And I'm realizing that my authentic self is not here to fit into the society that we're in. It's actually here to see it with open eyes and an open heart and decide, what do we want to keep and what do we want to get rid of? And that's what it means to be the matriarch of a new paradigm, because you're somebody who can be so consciously aware of what's happening and then have the courage to walk a path away from the things that aren't working, just to show others that it can happen too. So if you're somebody who feels the call and pull to be a spiritual leader at this time, that means that you have to walk through the fire and forge your own village and create your own set of ways of being and embody it and integrate it completely, and then express that into the things that you do and create for the new earth. So again, if you're somebody who is on the spiritual journey and navigating relationships, long-term relationships, intimacy, and you are somebody who wants to achieve divine union, just know that it starts with inner union within you first, dismantling all the things that are not in alignment with your authentic self, having the courage to integrate all of your fractured parts so that you can come into wholeness within your own self first and foremost, and then see your intimate relationships as a divine mirror, showing you all the parts of you that you still have fragmented or that you still need to bring into more love and compassion, or are being asked to alchemize pain into power. So just be radically aware of where your emotions are, and then see your partner as somebody who is meant to trigger you, meant to activate you, and meant to love you imperfectly, so that you can become the person you came here to be through that reflected mirror. As much as we want to blame somebody else for making us feel shitty about ourselves, it's important to have more compassion for others and be so grateful, even if they trigger the heck out of us and we know that they're wrong and we're right. It's all about trading judgment for curiosity and sitting with curiosity. So why are you giving this person so much power over your emotional state of being? There is medicine there for you. So sit with that uncomfortable feeling and ask yourself, why does this person have so much control over my emotional state of being? And then find what is connected to that emotion through your past, through your inner child dynamics, through your relationship with your caretakers, through your past lives and your ancestral healing, because a lot of us aren't just doing work for our own selves. We are literally healing our lineage, and a lot of this codependent dynamics and this whole wanting to be saved by somebody outside of us isn't ours. It's programmed in us from generations ago. So please have so much grace and compassion for yourself on this journey. And I know I'm just saying like, oh, let your partner trigger you and get curious and just do the work and, process your emotions. And yes, that is how simple it is to actually move past old ways of being and into this new way of living and thriving. But I do also want to acknowledge and validate that it is hard. It's incredibly hard, especially if you're somebody who has been attached to your emotions and is sensitive and is, somebody that's overly emotional. It is one of the hardest things in the world is to have that sacred pause between how you want to react versus how you want to respond. And that tiniest pause in between those two things, instead of reacting, that slight pause is going to shift you into a whole new timeline. That is the hardest part. And then once you are able to retract and pause before you respond, it's everything. It's the hardest thing. So if you can do that, you're already quantum leaps ahead of so many people, so many old ways of being. So I really want to honor that, and I want to celebrate it, and I'm so proud of you. And I also want to invite you into, okay, now that you have learned how to process, have you learned how to communicate? Have you learned how to express with grace and integrity? Have you learned how to take accountability without blaming somebody else? These are the next steps after having your awakening, where you're like, okay, I understand my patterns. I understand where all this is coming from. Now what? This is the now what. This is the integration. This is the embodiment. This is the moving all of that knowledge into embodied wisdom. The more you are able to do that for yourself, it becomes so much easier to do it for somebody else. So that's what I mean about shattering the illusion, seeing the person in front of you as who they are, and consciously choosing them here and now. Not some fairy tale version of who you want them to be. If you could just change them, and if you could just fix them, and if you can just get them to do the work that you can so clearly see that they need to do, all of that, look at it as not something to tell him, but to see it as a mirrored reflection of what is being asked to be seen deeper by you. So I really just want to invite you to not idolize your partner, not see their potential, want that so badly that you forget to accept and love them as they are here and now in front of you. Realize that the things that you want your partner to fulfill within you are things that are asking to be loved by you. They're your childhood wounds. They are your societal norms. They are your romantic conditioning that's literally here to be dismantled and rewritten for a world where respect and peace and harmony are the foundations of love, not the tip of love. And love is so much more than what we've been conditioned to believe it is. It's also not just romantic love. It's not just platonic love. It's not just human to human love. Love is so vast and so much bigger than anything we can conceptualize with our 3D brains. And the funny thing is that love doesn't get to flow if we are sitting here with illusions and masks on, because if you are trying to be loved for this perfect version of who you show yourself to be, you're never going to let somebody else see the true you. If you're trying to love this idolized potential version of somebody else, you're never going to see the true them. So in the beginning of this podcast, I always say we're challenging the status quo so couples can love as their most authentic selves. It sounds so good until you actually have to walk the path of becoming your authentic self and creating space for somebody else to feel safe to express their authentic self without judgment, without shame, without guilt, without bitterness, without resentment, and just pure acceptance and radical accountability on both your parts to see the ugly parts of you instead of dimming them and washing them away and shoving them down so that you can be loved and accepted. We all are sitting here feeling so unlovable because we have so many parts of us that we are shoving into our subconscious so that we can appear to be people that fit into society, when we're literally here to dismantle the mask and the societal norms so that each and every single one of us can show up as our authentic selves and move and love and create accordingly. And when you become your authentic self, you finally get to see life through clear eyes, not from your past wounds or your programming or your belief systems that were created by somebody else and not your own core values. So that's the journey of becoming your authentic self. And I hope you walk that path so that you can love others authentically too and build things that we authentically need in this world and society. So grieve the fantasy, grieve the fairy tale, grieve the illusions, because without grief, your heart will not shatter open and love will not come in. Don't be afraid of really sitting with your emotions and just like being really fucking sad that the fairy tale isn't real, like I had to do with realizing, oh, I actually have to start paying for bills again. I have to contribute to the household. I want to be an ambitious, powerful woman that does meaningful work and uses that money to sustain my home, my house. I feel like I'm finally not just this princess anymore. I feel like a matriarch. I feel like the mother. I feel like I am the woman of the house who is responsible for maintaining its integrity and structure so that all the weight of this empire that we're building isn't all on my poor husband. And I love him so much. I want him to be supported. I want him to feel the safety and security that he gave me. And I want to return that tenfold to him so that he can have the space, if he wanted to or needed to try something that ignites his passions or fuels his curiosity the way he has gifted that to me. So I had to shatter the illusion of having a husband who pays for everything and I do whatever I want, and honoring this role that my soul came here to fulfill, which is to sit in the seat of the matriarch and be an equal partner with a man, and we are both creating our empire together. All right, guys, that's all I have for you today. I hope this episode was insightful. I hope you guys got some takeaways from it. I really want to invite you into seeing where the illusion may stop you or block you from expressing even more love in your own relationships. Just don't be scared to grieve the fantasy. I know it's hard. Grief is really dark, it's heavy, and it's alchemy. It's literally the pathway and the doorway into so much more expansion. Go expand your hearts and feel into all the emotions and enjoy true heaven on earth without the masks, without the illusions, without the rose-colored glasses. All right, guys, I'll see you next time.